Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now you're probably wondering where I am this week. I know, I often wonder that the same. Well, do you remember in my last video, do you remember I said about I got a ticket, and that was it was just up the road from here actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm just down the road a bit now. Hopefully here is a zone where you shouldn't get a ticket, and hopefully not anyway. But I'm going to give you a little spin. I'm going to give you a little spin around. Just these people. There's a few people walking around, and show you where I am. So yeah, doggy's down there asleep as usual. So this is the view out of my right hand side. So that all the way, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. You can maybe just make out the pier, but that's kind of where we were last week. So we're kind of right down the other end. Now that's over that side, and I've just got a nice, and the water's pretty close. Well, we're about, I don't know, 10 or 12 feet up from the water's edge. And if I go back this way, and there's the cliff in the end. There's a little turning circle down there you can pull into. But the other thing as well, I don't know whether I'm going to get this video up tonight, because the signal is kind of all over the shop really. One minute it's like a really good download and an okay upload, and then it all goes a bit crazy. So I just thought I would. So this video really is. I was quite restless. I want to kind of talk about that really. I was quite restless being at home, and so all right, I backtrack a bit. So this video, I'm going to talk about my restlessness. I'm going to talk about my second week in my job, and I'm also going to talk. I'm going to do a Q&A because there's been a lot of emails and various comments and stuff. Mostly, the questions are coming via emails, and I thought I would take the opportunity to go over some of those emails. They've been some really interesting questions and fun questions, and I think, hopefully, I'll get this video out tonight. But I don't know. It really does depend on the upload speed, and I'm not quite sure it's going to cut it. To be honest, I might have to wait until I get back home tomorrow to a fast Wi-Fi, broadband connection. But we'll see. I'll give it a go. And I must admit, I've been taking this other stuff as well for my throat, and that's been what I consider seriously helping as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in following videos as well. And I've got some notes. so yeah, let's talk about. So this I've just been feeling kind of just a bit. I don't know, just a bit off really, just a bit restless, and I feel this, and I don't know why. It's I don't know. It's a weird kind of unsettled, kind of still, kind of lost feeling, I suppose. Maybe, I don't know. It just, but I just felt I needed to just go somewhere for a night. I think Shaman's going to possibly come up tomorrow, and just or depending on the weather and what we can do, and she might bring the car up and whatnot. But I just had to I just felt I just wanted to be in the van and just be near the ocean and just kind of just chill out really. And so yeah, yeah. But no, it's all good. But it's just feeling a bit kind of restless really, and just I think it's just sometimes just not knowing what what's next, really, I suppose. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes it's great to be lost. Sometimes it's fun to be lost in life, and just to meander around and not quite knowing where you're going in life. I don't know. Sometimes that's okay, and I should be used to it by now. But there you go. But let's talk about the job, how that's been. So for the most part this week, it's just been kind of getting to grips with the environments, the infrastructure, the people. One of the biggest things is trying to understand some of the things people are saying on the stand-ups. There's about 20-ish people on our stand-ups every day, and out of those 20 odd people, there's 3 of us that kind of speak what I would describe as English, and the rest, they're very broken English, and it's very, do you know when you find yourself really having to like increase the speaker on and just kind of they talk very fast, and it's just I just can't understand what they're saying, and it is a little bit of a struggle, and but that's just, I'm sure I'll get used to it. I'm sure I will tune in, so to speak. The more I do it, and that's all good. And so there's been a couple of like stand-ups that I've not attended. That's fine, and for the most part, it's like I say, it's been just learning the different infrastructure, the clusters, the ECS clusters on AWS. For those of you that don't really know what that is, that's okay. I don't want to bore you with that. You'll be falling you'll be falling asleep, and the dog's already asleep. He's just down here, and he's already falling asleep listening to me bang on about ECS clusters. Yeah, it's they're great, don't get me wrong, because they're almost when you lose a node, they rebuild themselves. It's fabulous in this environment. So it's a completely like immutable self-healing infrastructure. So imagine imagine you're walking along and you lose an arm, and then one grows back. That's kind of that's kind of what it is in computer terms, and it's fabulous because it makes patching and resilience a lot easier, and everything stays up, and it's super reliable. But it's really good for our customers, you guys, because you use our services, and we aim as a company and individuals to be the best that we can be, and to ensure that we run our system to the best of our abilities, and to ensure that our customers are our number one priority, and that is you guys. So it's okay. It's I think it is it isolating? I'm just trying to think, because I've got some notes in here. The modern workplace and working from home, and I miss the modern workplace. But I don't miss it. Do you know? Is it a bit of a 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other? There's pros and cons to working at home, and sometimes it just feels a little bit isolating. But it's weird because for the most part, I like the isolation, and it's not really that isolating in as much. I've got the dog. The smelly cat comes down, Shah's upstairs, and I can hear the kids next door when they're home. There's people around all the time. The birds are singing outside. But I guess it's. I think it's that connection, and I know I've got a connection with Shah, and I'm not kind of poo-pooing that at all. but those connections that you have in the office environment, I think those sometimes I miss that. You know, sometimes I struggle with that and not having that, really, I suppose. And sometimes I get bored of my own thoughts, and that drives me insane. But anyway, but all in all, it's been okay. I've not had much in the way of interactions with kind of my manager or anything like that. It's been so quiet, to be honest. I've just been left just to get on with it. And there's a train going past. And so I kind of feel I've gone from one extreme where I'm completely micromanaged to kind of nothingness, really. It just feels a bit like, is this right? And I've reached out to my boss a couple of times, because just to kind of see if he can help me out with a few access issues that I'm having with various systems. But he hasn't come back to me yet, and I'm just like, well, okay, where do I go with this? Blocker alert. But they seem to be very laid back, and it's really bizarre, because it almost feels a bit too laid back. But anyway, so, but it's okay, and I'm working in this job, in this role. It's not something I kind of religiously want to do. It's something that I just can't not. Like, I have to do it, unfortunately. I have to work. There are things to be paid for. There's bills to be paid for. Running a house, you know, and we do like our creature comforts at home, and you know, having the spider and no materialistic things aren't really that important. I get that, but you know, we have to kind of. I have to work, and the good thing is the money is good, that in as much it's not great. It's okay. It's better than a 0-hour contract or minimum wage. So I can save. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm just going to save, and try and figure out what my next stage of the game is, my next strategy is, and I think the whole YouTube thing, you know, that I never expected it to do as well as it has, because the thing is, guys, I've got 2 other channels, right, that I started years and years ago, and one of them was to do with van life. It was called Motorhome Life, and I've got I think it's 50 subscribers, and for the most part it's just drone videos. But you know what, I really love flying the drone, and I really loved getting the shots, and you know, it's some fabulous shots of various areas within Devon from a drone, and I thought that it may be really good, but obviously it's not that great. So, but I've left it up there. It's called Motorhome Life, and it's not, you know, it's something. It is the earliest channel. I think it's the very first channel that I started, and but anyway. And my other channel is the Spider Rider UK, which is all talking about the Can-Am spiders, which I think I've got about 42 subscribers on that one. And it's really interesting, because when I started this channel, it wasn't something I didn't think of this 6 months ago and thought, I'm going to plan this, I'm going to do this. No, I found myself unemployed. I left my job, and I just thought, I wonder if people would be interested in this, you know. And also, but I did it for myself to kind of document the process, I suppose, of that stage in my life that I was at. And being 50, I suppose, was poignant. And I just didn't expect it just to go off like a rocket, to be honest. When I think back, right, because I looked at my first video, and I think it's like the 14th of September, and it's incredible, really, that I got monetized within 3 days, and I just never, in my wildest dreams, expected this at all to happen. So why? It's wild, absolutely wild. And do you know what? I get so much fulfillment from doing these YouTube channels, and it's not only, but just, talking about stuff that I find really helpful, but it's connecting with so many individuals out there that some of my videos resonate with, and that's been the most amazing part of this whole thing, really. Crap, I need to put a password in. Hold on. I've got my little tablet. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. I must try and keep my finger on it. Just for some notes, it's really helpful. We also use this as it's only a little Samsung thing. We use it for Netflix as well. It's brilliant. So, yeah, I've just found this it's really hard to sometimes articulate. I find a struggle to articulate kind of how great this is, and being out here and able to do this, and the connections that I've made through the YouTube world has been absolutely staggering, and I'm still, believe it or not, I'm still replying to comments that are 4 weeks old, and I'm just thinking, shit, I haven't replied to those comments. So if I haven't replied to you, I do apologise. I do try to aim to respond to everybody, and sometimes I just give a thumbs up, and but some of your comments are so long that I can't just give you a thumbs up. That's crap. I want to respond. I want to really take a time, and I have been taking the time to read your comments, and it does take time to respond to them, because I don't want to just give it a thanks. Or sometimes some of the comments are they're your stories, and I love reading your stories, and it's and so does everybody else, and you've all been commenting amongst yourselves as well on the channel, and that's been really entertaining. But anyway, it's 18 minutes in, and I am never going to upload this tonight. It is never going to happen. But anyway, I want to do a little bit of a Q&A, guys, and so this is the first question. So what are some of the things that you like about working in IT? And I think for me, it's weird, because I want to say working remotely, and that's great being in this environment. But sometimes when I'm at home, it can be a little bit. It takes its toll sometimes. I think another environment is good. I think it's good for me. It's good for the mind. It's good, and being here, I have so much stimulus, right? Because I can see the views, I can see the people, and I'm not thinking so much, So thinking for me is bad. I got to be so careful how I think and the messages I give to myself, and I really have to be careful about what I think about. But anyway, so yeah, the ability to work remotely is definitely great. And in the past, I think it's been meeting some of the people that I've been working, it's been absolutely fabulous. And I think I crave that connection. I crave that, and I think that's why I find this channel so fulfilling, because I'm able to connect with so many people, and I know I've not met any of you, but what I will say is if you any of you do recognise me, I'm going to buy you a pint. Okay, that's the deal. I'm going to buy you a pint. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next question. What is Sam's favourite food? Somebody asked me, and it's probably best to say what he doesn't like. To be honest, he loves meat, and I would say minced beef is probably one of his favourites. He loves that whether it's cold, but obviously in the winter time, I tend to warm it up a little bit for him. But he hates things like broccoli. What dog loves broccoli? He's very much a meat dog, and yeah, he it's really funny because the last time we went to breakfast, I'll give him a bit of sausage, I'll give him a bit of bacon, and then I'll like put a mushroom, give him a mushroom, and I know I wouldn't let him eat it, but he'll taste it and he'll just drop it on the floor, and it's hilarious to see. Obviously, no, I don't want him eating mushrooms because he's pretty good in that he won't eat anything other than grass really now and again. He loves his bit of grass, and two ticks. It's just locked me out again. Bloody thing. Maybe I should disable this. I should have really tried to disable it. So somebody asked me about what's my favourite childhood memory. So I would say when I was kind of younger, I think one of our biggest things that we used to do, we couldn't really afford to go on holidays because it wasn't particularly easy and affordable. But we used to take our holidays at Shalabra Bay Caravan Park, as it was called. I think it still is. And we used to hire one of these big long caravans, it was like one of those static homes, and it had like 2 or 3 bedrooms in it. And I don't know how much my dad paid for like a week or two, but it was probably like 150 quid or something. But I imagine now it'd be like 2k. But I used to enjoy it because I think the main reason that it would take me away from my horrible kind of schooling that everybody so knows about, and the bullies and all the rest of it, and yeah, I just used to love being by the sea, and just that sense of calmness and tranquility is probably still to this day. That's why I probably come here, and it'll probably be ruined by a traffic warden. I'll probably be moved on because I'm going to stay here tonight, and I've got a little bit of a meal plan. Wow, MRE meal and some water. Okay, so moving on. So yeah, Shalabra Bay was a lovely childhood memory. I've got to be honest. So what do you like to do in your free time? Wow. I think I just like pottering around the house, to be honest. I love being with Sam, and obviously Shara and I, we enjoy the spider, which going out on a Can-Am spider, not a hairy spider. So that's kind of nice. I do sometimes, when I get the opportunity of an evening to kind of play a bit of online or gaming, I do quite like kind of the GTA stuff, the Red Dead Redemption, and only because those are kind of like open world games, and I love to lose myself in those games. And there's no restrictions, and this interested me. This is why I love these open world games, because I can do what I want when I want, and I hate games that have any kind of like timer or something like that where you're restricted in some way, because the sense of freedom isn't there, and I think that's why I like those types of games. I mean, I have done a lot of things in the past. I was a scuba diver. I've got several qualifications in scuba diving that I've kind of mentioned. I've kind of got a deep diving qualification, advanced, a medic qualification as well. And I've dived in many places around in different parts of the UK and also abroad as well. And one of the things, unfortunately, I can't, my favourite place, to dive was down at Devil's Point in Plymouth. Now, see, Devil's Point, I think it dropped off to about 50 metres. And interestingly, I used to enjoy solo diving there, and I know don't do that. It's a big no-no in the diving community. Okay, solo diving, don't do that. Don't do what I do. But for me, I did it because I loved the freedom again. I love the freedom of not being with somebody. I love the freedom to be able to dive to the depth I was feeling. I felt comfortable, and trust me, I had loads of bailouts and took extra precautions when I did dive alone. Extra torches, yada yada yada, but I just love to be able to sit there. Sometimes I'll sit down there, 28 meters, and just study a fish or something, and I could just sit there for the whole dive and just be, I wouldn't feel pressured to do anything. And it's so that was definitely one thing that I used to. I don't do it now because I think it's too much of a faff, to be honest. In as much it's just a lot of preparation for like literally 40 minutes in the water, and I can't be bothered with it anymore, to be honest. I've also enjoyed kayaking. I like my skiing as well, and I've also been a student pilot for a very very short period because of the cost. I couldn't fly the Cessna because I was too heavy at the time, because I used to be a bit of a gym bunny, and I was like 17 and a half stone at my peak, and they just said there's no way that plane's going to take off. I was just like, you're going to have to fly the Piper Warrior, which was £175 an hour instead of 95, and I was just like, damn. But I did a little bit of flying in a Cirrus SR22 as well, which I do quite like to fly, even in my simulator at home. I've got a little Microsoft simulator, not a proper simulator. nothing. It's nothing flash. It's a couple of sticks and a mouse. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but the lovely thing is, everything is so detailed. It's like, oh yeah, I know how to fly this. It's great, you know. So the next question, I think, challenges, is what was your biggest challenge that you faced in your life? I think trying to control the mind is my biggest challenge. Being careful where I think. I've tried to write some of this down as well, because and it's trying to figure out what's next, really, I suppose. And I think life can be quite, there's lots of stresses and strains in life, and we all kind of do you know what? One of the things that I did find a challenge, and this might sound a bit vain, this might sound a bit, I don't know, but when I was in my 20s, I had lovely blonde hair, the George Michael look, if you want to put it like that, and to be honest, when I was that age, I would never find it a problem meeting people, you know what I mean? Meeting the opposite sex and all that. And I loved it, you know what I mean? And I loved it. And of course, who wouldn't? But one thing I didn't quite expect was becoming invisible in my 30s. Now, it was quite a shock, because one minute you're getting attention, and next minute you're not. And I don't get me wrong, I'm not an attention seeker. No, I don't do that. But it's just something you subtly notice, and you read a lot of stuff that women hit the wall. Have you ever heard that term, the wall? When you hit the wall and you're no longer attractive to the opposite sex. And well, I just didn't hit the wall, I went through it. I smashed myself and I went through that damn wall. And but the thing is, it happens to us guys as well, well, it happens to me. I know you get some guys that age really well, but and their attractiveness goes up, but I've just it's just oh dear, it's all gone wrong. But I just think it's funny, but I've got to laugh, that's if I didn't, I think I would have, it wouldn't have ended well if I didn't take myself too seriously on that one. I need to do something with this thing. It's not too much longer. But it's kind of a funny one, really, I suppose. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek, that challenge, but it probably maybe affects people more than they let on, I suppose. But I'm quite honest. I'm quite honest about to talk about things that maybe most people don't like to admit to or want to talk about. But anyway, what's one of your favourite places you've travelled to? Well, for me, I think it's one of the favourite places is the snowy mountains of Courchevel in France, the Three Valleys, and it's fabulous, and I love skiing. For me, it's exhilarating and peaceful all at the same time. The sense of the scale of the mountains and the challenges of being able to not only physically but mentally. We went skiing last year, and I took myself down the Trass, which is a black run in what country is it? Austria. I think. Yeah, Austria. And it's got in one of the sections of the run, it's 70 degrees, which is like it's pretty steep. But I did it kind of early in the morning, and the mental challenge to do it was phenomenal, to push yourself down that crazy route. And I think once you start, you can't really go back. It's either you carry on, or you have to, I don't know, ring the rescue guys to come and get you, which is not funny, which would never. But anyway, I took off down this trass, and you could feel the ice. Now, skiing on ice, it will bite you in the ass if you haven't got it right. And I was great. I got down 3/4 of the way, and I just kind of pulled over literally to the side a bit and dug my edges in to stop me from slipping down the mountain. And it's just, I don't know, it's literally, the ice was just, it was solid, because it was early in the morning and it freezes overnight, and then towards the afternoon it gets really mushy and crappy and slushy and all that. So I opted for the ice because I prefer skiing on ice, to be honest, but it will bite you in the ass if your skiing posture is, and your alignment to the snow is wrong. It will very much show up any bad moves, and it did. 3/4 of the way down, I leant into the mountain a bit too far. The skis came away from me. I went down. I must have slid for, I don't know, 300 yards. My helmet somehow came off. I think it was not on correctly, and that flipped off, and lost a ski. And the ski was about 100 yards up, so I had to try and go up to get there. Of course, there's nobody around because it's early in the morning. Nobody wants to ski it, which I don't blame them. But anyway, managed to get back on my skis, got them engaged, and I literally just tanked it right down and just flew. I just let the skis take me, and I got out, and it was all fine. But yeah, the mental. I love that challenging environment to really test your mental agility. And I had another hobby as well. It was potholing and caving, and that really sorts the men out from the boys. I can tell you, it was. I've been stuck a few times, and literally, there was one system that I went down that I literally had to. So when you breathe out, you had to breathe out, and you had to. So your chest kind of compresses, and then you breathe in, it kind of expands, doesn't it? So I had to go through this little pinch point, which was that narrow that when you breathe in, you get stuck. So you had to kind of really breathe quite shallow to get through this system, and that was crazy. I don't know if I could do it now. I need to drop a few pounds. This is a bit of a long video, isn't it? This one. It's unusual for me for doing 38 minutes long. I'm never going to be able to upload this, guys. This is going to be. But you know what? This is such a. I just feel it's so relaxed here. It's so easygoing, and I just wanted to just talk rubbish to you guys for 40 minutes, and I thought, yeah, it's just nice. Where am I? Okay, so that was a little bit about a favourite place, and I'm also teaching Shaman to ski as well. She's doing really well. I want to get her to doing full parallel skiing this year. Hopefully, I can get her away from the snowplow. I want to get her away from snowplow as quickly as possible. So we're gonna. Do you know, because in March next year we're going to be going for a week, and I want to do some recording. I'm going to take the GoPro and do some recording and do some videos from there, but obviously I won't be able to upload them till we come back. But I just thought it would be just lovely to have you along for that, and it's something we booked this a year and a half ago now. And she loves it, and I love teaching, and I'm not a certified instructor by any stretch, but I do like to teach. the wonders of parallel, or maybe the more the transition from snowplow to parallel, or to bin snowplow altogether and just go into parallel, which is PMTS, which is pure move teaching system, which is something that Harold Harb, this guy, teaches, and I love it. I love the whole thing, and so she's really enjoying it, and it's fabulous to see her progress within this kind of discipline, and I get a sense of accomplishment from showing her. And I know it's interesting, isn't it? Because so many people say, "Oh, if you let your partner teach you skiing, it'll end the relationship." I just think, what a load of old nonsense that is. And I just think it's great because, I never get arsy with Shah when if she makes mistakes, and I always try and ensure we go down the appropriate runs and stuff. So, but she did so well last year, right, that she was on a red run. She didn't realise it. It was only a short one. It was like 500 yards long, and I brought her over to the side because I wanted to push her out of her comfort zone. But it was a push her out of her comfort zone. But it was a safe run because it was really short, So if she did slide, she wouldn't go very far. Do you know what I mean? So I thought the risk was worth it, but she did it. And I just she was well chuffed. And I will do something with this. It's not very often I use this. It's only because I've got so many notes that I just wanted to and there were some of the questions. What is the thing you dislike about working in IT? And that's stand-ups. I'll be honest, stand-up meetings, and you don't just, and I know for those of you who don't know what a stand-up is, you don't stand up and shout or anything. You could be sat down, but it's basically, the stand-up meetings came from the development agile kind of world. Typically it started in the US, I think, and then it's ended up over here where people seem to think it's a great idea just to talk every day. And don't get me wrong, it's okay. They can be really useful, but they can also just go on a little bit and just be a bit not as useful as they should be. And I do remember the good old days when I was a network engineer, and these stand-ups and all this sort of stuff. We'd never even heard of it. Yeah. I loved the good old days. So our stand-ups basically consist of what we've done the previous day and kind of what we're doing today, kind of thing. And if there's any kind of issues, if there's any blockers that stop you from doing stuff, I don't know. The next time I get, because I've broached this subject with a few of the guys in there, and they think these stand-ups are a complete waste of time, and they think they're too much. Every day is not needed. I mean, maybe twice a week is enough, but every day, I think it just becomes a bit tedious. You know what I mean? I'd be interested to know if any of you guys that work in IT, I know there's a lot of you out there, and you sensible ones have got out of it. And I can't say I blame you, I'll be honest. So yeah, that's the stand-ups. Yeah. I think that's about it, really. yeah, I think that's about it for this video. So I'm gonna get Sam some food because I think he's gonna get hungry, and it's oh my word, what is the time? Wow, it's 6 o'clock. I should have given him some food hours ago. You can have some food, buddy, and some water, and I'm just gonna chill out with a movie, I think, and see if I can upload this video for the first thing. I don't know if it's going to happen today, but we'll see. And but anyway, it's been lovely chatting to you all as ever, and I shall look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, I shall catch you later. Bye for now, everybody.